Hi, it's Thursday. This is Christine at Quilter's Corner. We're doing our live video on our regular business page today. We want this information to get out to everybody. Usually on Thursdays we do a demo on our Friends of Facebook page, but now that we're getting more busy and starting new things in the shop again, we want to get this out to everyone. So I see some people joining me today. I've got Elaine and Diane, Yvonne, Rita. Hi guys, glad to see you here. Nice rainy Thursday, huh? So you're probably all at home sewing. That's what I would be doing if I weren't working today. So we've got some exciting news. We held our first in-shop class a week ago Saturday. And this is really funny. My Facebook is showing me. This is so weird. I'm seeing myself twice. Let me get myself off of here. There we go. So a week ago Saturday, we held our first class in the shop since the whole quarantine and pandemic started. And it was a class that was only partway through. They had finished 3 of the 6 sessions for a pretty complicated quilt, and they really needed to get back with a teacher, an instructor, to continue the process. It was a Judy Niemeyer quilt, and they're quite complicated. So we've set up our classroom. I'm going to flip this around quick to show you. Can you see where I'm sitting? I'm in the classroom. I'm at a table, but I've got a shower curtain on either side of me, between me and the 2 tables near me. So we've got a little pod of 3 tables, and if I look across the classroom, there's another pod of 3 tables with the vinyl shower curtains separating them. So what we did is we had this 6 people in, or 5 people in, the instructor. It was a 2-hour session. They ran a little over, but they were in here. They each had their little spot. We still are requiring masks. Like, I have nobody around me right now. I'm by myself here in the classroom. So I'm taking it off so you can hear me and understand what I'm saying. But, so you have to keep your mask on. So we are starting classes again, which is really exciting for us. But we are going to be very careful as we do it. So things that'll change, our classes will be limited to 2 to 3 hours. That's because we have to have our masks on. That's the instructor, that's the students. They're gonna have to wear masks. And this kind of mask, right? Not the shield, because if you start talking a lot to people, I don't find it safe. I don't wear it when I'm on the floor. This is the kind of mask. Just remember, when you put a mask on, what I'm doing is saying, I respect you, and I'm pretty sure I'm healthy, but out of an abundance of caution, I'm not going to spread anything I might have with you. And that's what we're asking for, is that same respect for everybody else in the class, for our instructors, for our employees, for everybody. Just be nice to each other, okay? So wear the mask. It's when you're sewing, you're not going to be running around, so it's not like you're not getting enough oxygen to sit and sew. So let's wear a mask. And we're quilters. We know how to make them. We do have them for sale if you need one, but y'all probably know how to make masks at this point. So that's the first thing, shorter hours. And the other thing is classes will either end before lunch or start after lunch. We're not going to have meals, no more eating in the classroom. That's just not, it's not what we're really set up for. That was sort of a courtesy kind of thing, but we're just not going to do that anymore. No, so we do have, we're setting up our machine owner classes again. Angie's been calling the people who've bought machines and getting them into our schedule. There's one that's 2 3-hour sessions, and they're going to go from 9:30 to 12:30 with an hour-and-a-half break, and then 2 to 5. That hour-and-a-half break will give people time to get out of here and breathe and go find lunch somewhere. There's a lot of places around. We can help you with that if you need to go get lunch somewhere. So, like I said, 3-hour maximum. So, you know, a lot of classes are 2, 2.5, but up to 3 right now. The things we're putting on the calendar include the machine owner classes. Quilting 101 is back on the calendar. I'm in the process of putting intro to machine quilting using your walking foot. We're going to add a free motion quilting class. Anne is going to teach that also. She teaches the walking foot class. So Angie with the scan and cut and the machines. Who else? Carolyn. Carolyn's going to be teaching Machine Embroidery 101. That'll be a 3-session class. In addition, Tiffany's doing a Zoom class on collage with her hen and chicks. That starts Monday. I think there's like 1 slot, maybe two slots left. You'll see more information on our store shop online. We're starting Block of the Month, so Canyon starts in, what's this, September, October. That'll be a Facebook Live group. And then in November, we're going to start 2 Block of the Months. One's called Azul, one's called Black Jewels. They are the same pattern. One's done in very traditional blue and white fabrics, and one is done in batiks. You can see more information about those on our website also. So as we go along, we're just going to start with our basics, okay, and get going that way. But other things that change now with taking a class, okay. In the past, we had irons available and pressing surfaces and the big tables for rotary cutting. We're not going to be sharing items anymore. So what I did is brought in some items to show you what you'll need to bring when you take a class here. And Tiffany talked about this, God, back in March or April even when we first started, and she said, hey, this is what happens when we reopen for classes. And she's right, this is really what we need to do. So let me flip this around. Okay, first thing you're going to need is let me even move the rulers, is the cutting mats. All right. I have 2 sizes I generally bring for a class, and I always bring my own cutting mat. I don't want to have to wait for other people. The ones we have in the shop have been used. They are the ones that are sort of worn from our cutting tables, and we have them back here just as somewhere to put them. And if you don't bring your mat, but now you need to bring one. So this is an Olfa mat. This is a small, well, I would consider this a small one. So this is a 12 by 18, and that's a good size for a lot of the cutting we do in classes. And then there's an 18 by 24. This is the larger one. I know Quilting 101 will ask for a larger mat because you're cutting fabric from across the width of fabric, and you need something bigger. So one thing you also might find in our classes now is we're going to have you do more pre-cutting. Let me just talk about pre-cutting for a minute, because a lot of times, other than a beginner class, you know how to cut fabric. And it takes more time, it seems, to cut fabric in the shop than it does in your own sewing studio. So if there's pre-cutting instructions on the class supply list, you need to do those, just so you have the time to learn what you're going to learn in a class. You know, you're not learning how to cut strips in an intermediate level class. You may be learning how to use a specialty ruler once you've cut pieces, and that will still be taught. But you need to do the pre-cutting if it's required. Okay, so you've got a mat. You're going to need to bring a pressing surface and an iron. This little iron, this is steam fast. It's nice. It gets really hot. It actually has steam, so you can do with or without water. It's a good size for travel. This is the tiniest little wool mat, but a pressing surface, so you can bring a wool mat. I have this this fancy Kaffe little ironing board. I don't usually bring it out, but I thought I'd show it today. But I do often bring this Omni Grid. Okay, this is like a 2-piece that opens up, and you end up with a cutting surface and a pressing surface. So that I travel with quite a bit for classes. So a smaller mat or this with a pressing surface, that's an option. You know, you can get them here, right? Yes. One thing we found, well, hey Laura, I see you, and Danielle, Doris, welcome. Yeah, we're talking about classes as we restart. The other thing is rulers, okay? You've always had to bring your own rulers for classes. We let you get by sometimes, you know, if you forgot one. We're not sharing rulers anymore. Bring your items. You know, we sell them here. We'll be happy to sell you another, but if we've already got one, bring it with you, okay? Double check your list before you get here. Hi from the car. Pam Oliver, I hope you're not driving in that car while you're saying hello. Hope someone else is the driver and you're passaging. So rulers, people still, I talked about rulers a few weeks ago. Usually the number one ruler you need to bring is, I always say 8.5 by 24. I just pack it all the time anyway in case I have to cut something with the fabric. And a rotary cutter. And I did a whole Facebook Live on rotary cutters. And this was the one I said, this is my go-to favorite. I found I have 4 of these now. All different colors. But I have a bunch of these in my sewing room because I can use them right or left-handed. But it's quick change, right? So it's easy to change a blade, and it's 45 millimeter. And that's, to me, the handiest rotary cutter. Bring your rulers. Bring pins. Bring your pins and a pin cushion. I'm going to show you some stuff we have in the shop too, but this is just one of the pin cushions that sits by my sewing machine. So bring that. If you're going to use Best Press, okay, bring it. We used to have bottles and sprayers and all that. A lot of them were just water, but just bring it. Bring all the stuff you're going to need to your class. There is a supply list, but if you say, hey, I usually use such and such an item, also bring that. Let me flip around here and show you a few of the other things. So in this chair, this is a handy size ruler. Someone was asking me this weekend what rulers I use. So this one I just like. It's 3.5 by 12.5. It's a quick trim ruler. It's a handy size. I like the long ruler when I'm cutting with the fabric, but I don't always want to use a super long ruler. It can get unwieldy. Wieldy? Yeah. A square ruler, small square ruler. This one just happens to be the itty bitty 8s. I don't know if you've ever seen this ruler. It's got all the 1/8 inch markings on them. I don't generally grab this one unless I need to cut to the 1/8 inch. But it was the first 6-inch ruler I found in my sewing room, so I just grabbed it this morning. But a small square ruler sometimes. 8.5 by 12 is a really handy size. If you've already cut all your fabric from width of fabric, then maybe you just want to bring this one. So, I see a couple people just joining us, and what I'm saying is we're opening for classes again with a lot of caveats, okay? A lot of caveats. And a larger square ruler, okay? So a 12.5 inch square. A lot of times, just look at the pattern, look at the supply list, and see what you want, but bring it with you, okay? Pin cushions. Okay, check out these cute pin cushions we have. This is the mini itty bitty bolts. It's super strong magnet in there, so that's a possibility. We've got this little donut. We got the voodoo guy. All right, so these are all pin cushions, but they have a pin cushion, all right? This is something I just picked up. I have one of these at home now next to my sewing machine, but it's just a spot where you can stick all your little items in next to you while you're sewing. That's sort of handy, okay? And what items might you need? Scissors, yeah. Bring little scissors. My favorite are the Karen K. Buckley. Here we go. Her perfect scissors. I have too many sizes. I shouldn't tell you. So those little scissors. Don't forget a seam ripper. I'm telling you, you guys, these are your normal sewing supplies, and maybe if you take a lot of classes, you travel, have double because you've already bought them. Make sure you bring them so you don't buy them again. Bring new needles, or we can get them here, but make sure you got new needles in your sewing machine when you're sewing, and for the right job. So if you're taking an embroidery class, get the embroidery needles. For piecing, you can use sharps or Microtex, okay? I tend to use the quilting needles when I'm actually quilting, okay? When I'm going through all those layers. It's got a, the groove in the back is a little bit bigger, so it'll carry the thread through all those layers. They are also good for piecing, but I tend to buy the Microtex sharps for piecing. That's my favorite. They are a little sharper. They're going to pierce. I actually sew with Batiks quite a bit. Microtex are really my favorite for piecing. Check the sizes, you know, it depends what you're doing. 70-10, that's a good size. Bobbins. Bring the right bobbins for your machine. So many of us have multiple machines, And as a teacher, it's really frustrating for us, for you to get here and say, oh, this bobbin isn't working, okay? Whatever class you're taking, test your machine before you put it in your car to come here. That is really frustrating as an instructor, to have people whose machines don't work. In some, we might be able to help you, but we're trying to keep our distance still, all right? So we're going to be on the other side of our mask, on the other side of that screen from you. We don't really want to be messing in your machine. Check your machine out before you get in the car and go. Marking tools. Well, there's a pen, one of those friction pens, but I think I've showed this in it. I've done a lot of videos, guys. This is our 26th demo today, okay, or demo video. So all these different tools, right? I keep all my different marking tools in that little bag, whether they're in my sewing room or in my to-go, just because I can grab it and know I've got everything I need, whether it's a mechanical pencil, a Hera marker, a chalk liner. I've got another friction pen. I've demoed this white marking pen from Clover. It's a newfound love for me when I'm marking dark fabrics. But have marking pens. What else do we need to have? Like I said, a working sewing machine is a big one, okay? So, classes, that's really what I want to talk about today. So, if you've got classes you're waiting for, you can pop me an email. We'll get them on the schedule. They will be advertised. If there's something you're looking for, you need to keep an eye on our calendar. We're going to be publishing it. Every time I put a class into our schedule, it gets added to the website under both classes and in the class calendar on the website. It's also, we publish a calendar in the shop if you need it. So you're going to find it in a few places. And then Tiffany will usually share what's coming up class-wise on Facebook. And we are switching over to this Facebook page for informational videos, just because we want to reach our whole audience. And wow, we love our friends of Quilters Corner. We had a lot of fun during all the quarantine, and we're not done with that. All the videos are going to come over here to the big Facebook page. Are there any questions? So, like I said, when you come in for a class, it's going to be masks on. It's going to be behind these curtains. We are working also, we've got a camera now that we can project some of the cutting things. Like if I'm doing a demo cutting, rather than having everybody around my work surface, I'm going to be able to project that onto a screen. So we're just trying to do everything we can to keep you safe, to keep our instructors safe, and still get the information out to you. So our class sizes are going to be a little smaller right now too. I see Susan asking for a pocket full of rulers bag class. That'll be down the road. We really have to get going with some of our main things. I know a lot of people have come by and asked for a Tuffet class. And I'm the one that teaches that, and there's no way I'm doing that yet. When we make Tuffets, we construct those. At some point, you and a partner are standing 18 inches apart because one's holding and one's stapling, and you're face to face, and there's no way I'm getting into that situation yet. That's going to be a post-vaccine, a post-pandemic world before I go back to Tuffets. It's a lot of close work in that one. But we do have, if you missed the beginning, I said we're getting our owner's class online. We are getting owner's classes, the beginning classes, so Quilting 101, we're starting Machine Embroidery 101, we've got Quilting with Your Walking Foot, free motion quilting. I haven't decided what I'm starting with yet. You know, I teach a lot of those ruler classes, and I've had a few new projects come out with new rulers, and there's a lot of old rulers that I use all the time, so I'll decide which one I want. Keep your eyes posted, probably on this page, because Creative Grids just released another new ruler today, and I've got 3 patterns already out with that one. So it's a busy world. We are really excited to invite you back into our classroom. Again, I'm like, uh-oh, there's Gretchen saying Luminaire Club. Gretchen, we'll get there eventually. We got to get some other things going first. I'll talk to Julie about it, and we're not doing night times yet. We're a pretty lean staff right now. So if you come in and see we're busy, we're just really are that busy. And yeah, night times are just in nobody's calendars right now. Yes, Elaine, a new ruler. If you look at probably, like I said, I think Tiffany's going to share it. As far as demos, Debbie wants a pineapple ruler demo. I'm backing off on the demos. I'm really sorry to say it. Like I said, 26 weeks into demos, it's not only time consuming to come up with them and prepare for them, but now that we're doing classes, I'm the class, and that's really was my title, the education department for the shop. So I'm the one who arranges all the classes and gets them online and gets your supply list together and gets everything into all the different systems. And I'm also been doing a lot of the online shop stuff. So I've wearing a few too many hats right now, and so demos are we'll have them once in a while, but they're not going to be every week like this. I don't know. Anything you want to say, Tiffany?
Hey everybody, good to see you. I'll see you tomorrow on this page,
yes,
the business page.
Yep, you're going to come back here for your videos and your demos tomorrow. So like I said, we love our Friends of Quilters Corner our group. We really got to get the information out to the world now. So we're excited about classes. Like I said, we're just trying to keep everyone safe while we do it. So it might be baby steps for a while, but we'll slowly add things in and see where everybody's comfort level is and how we can do this. And hopefully we get vaccines and get a little more back to our old world. We'll grow, but like I said, the block of the months we're going to do Facebook Live still. So that with our projectors, with some things we're trying to do technology-wise, we will get there. All right, so excuse me. So thanks so much for joining me. It's been I've had a riot. I've had so much fun doing the demos with you, and I'll be back to teaching, which I also love to do. So Tiffany will be here tomorrow, our Quilters Corner Facebook page, and I hope to see some of you in classes soon. All right, thanks.